is soap, now the official soap and body wipe of FloGrappling, protecting you for over 15 years. Defend what you have built. And by Soy Mask by Dolomar, the official mat of FloGrappling. Experience the hybrid difference at dolomar.com. And by Acai Republic. Fuel your victory with Acai Republic, the ultimate choice for the BJJ community.
It's Friday night in Southern California, and fight fans from around the state have gathered for WNO 28 here at the OC Fairgrounds in the hangar, where we have some of the greatest jiu-jitsu players from around the world all here to jump on the mat and find out truly who's number one. Hello and welcome. I'm Rich Slayton, joined by our commentary team, Kendall Rusing and Sean Williams. We have a great card tonight, and Kendall, what better place than the heartland of American Jiu-Jitsu for this kind of event?
You've got that right, Rich. Being here in Orange County, we have teams from all over, but the local ones have showed up and showed out. We've got a stadium full of our local athlete supporters. The energy in here is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and what better place to have jiu-jitsu in the hotbed is the fans of Southern California. They always bring the noise and the excitement, so very exciting. And as Kendall mentioned, we have a large contingent of local athletes, and more specifically, some world-class athletes coming out of one place, trained by the Mendez brothers in AOJ. We've got some really well-prepared athletes on tonight's card.
And don't bury the lead on me, Sean. Of course, we're talking about Costa Mesa's own Jonnatas Gracie, the middleweight champion here at WNO, a world-class grappler, but facing another world-class grappler who's trying to get his second concurrent title in Mica Galvão. It's a champion versus champion match right here on this mat, and it's going to be an absolute blast. Now, of course, this isn't the only action we have tonight. We kick things off with some of our great young talent, including the fire of Icaro Moreno.
Yeah, I mean, this young man is something very, very special. He made his WNO debut just recently and showed us essentially, I think, what a glimpse of the future of jiu-jitsu is. This little guy can wrestle, he can take you down. This is a clip of his WNO debut, and you know, you make one little mistake, he capitalizes on it. He has fantastic submissions. He chains everything together, and I really do think he is one of what will become the future of jiu-jitsu. Very well-rounded from feet to floor, and just blends everything together. So what a treat we have, what a treat we're in store to see this young man go tonight.
And that's not the only action we've got coming up on that undercard, right, Sean? Man, we have a star-studded undercard for you guys coming up. We have got Paulo Rosales out of Mica Galvão Jiu-Jitsu and Victor Rodriguez, the Checkmat teen stars, coming in hot. We've also got a nice slew of some social media influencers showing up on our card tonight. We've got Ryan Juliano, and of course we've got Carson Quinene, and we also have Rana Willink, daughter of Jocko Willink, fighting Alyssa Luna. It is going to be an amazing night.
It's an undercard of future stars, and to follow this and all the action that you have for this event, of course, we are live and free right now on YouTube, but that's just the undercard. The main card, and of course that big main event, exclusively available on FloGrappling.com. Go to FloGrappling.com/sign up and follow the on-screen prompts, and that way you can subscribe to FloGrappling and not only get access to all of our great jiu-jitsu events, but also to top-notch content, exclusive interviews, articles, instructional videos, and much, much more. Subscribe right now. And speaking of right now, let's wait no further and get into things. To start things off, let's get our very special WNO rule set with Reed Connell.
Welcome to Who's Number One, the premier proving ground for the world's best grapplers. And now right here on this very stage, two grapplers will enter and only one will leave victorious.
All matches are 15 minutes in length, except where otherwise noted, with no points, no advantages, and no interruptions. Just elite competitive grappling. There are two ways to win. The first is, of course, the most preferred, by submission. And here at Who's Number One, all submissions are legal. Heel hooks, arm bars, twisters, and beyond, the world's best have all the tools at their disposal. And if at any point either competitor taps, the match is over. But if there isn't a submission, we will rely on 3 neutral side judges to determine a winner. Their decision will be based on our Who's Number One judging criteria, which is unique to this mat. Now, above all, we are looking for aggression. That means never taking a backward step and moving forward at all costs. We're looking for dangerous submission attacks. That means attempts that will result in a near submission, okay? Leave your 50-50 ankle locks at home. We don't need them. And if it doesn't result in a reaction or a hyperextension, they simply won't count. And finally, positional control. That means guard passes, mount, back takes, anything that leads to positional dominance. The match will be judged in its entirety, and the person with the better display of effective grappling skill will get their hand raised. The referee is also neutral and does not take part in the judge's decisions. His role is purely to control the action on the mats and reset the action should it go out of bounds. This is elite grappling competition at its purest form. A showcase for the world's best grapplers on the world's biggest stage. Just the best fighting the best. It's the only way to truly find out who's number one.
We are live from the OC Fairgrounds, The Hangar in Costa Mesa, California, where some of the greatest grapplers alive on the planet today are gathered to find out who is number one. WNO 28 starts now. And in the blue corner, standing 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing 108.2 pounds, fighting out of Eva Beach, Hawaii, and Island Jiu Jitsu West, it's Mackenzie Wong.
And here we go. Welcome to WNO. We've got our first match underway here. This is Kendall Roosing and Sean Williams calling the action. Sean, here we go.
Yeah, this little guy, Mackenzie, is very good. I watched a lot of his footage. He'll be a great contest here. I don't know what he's going to have in store for Ikaru, but man, he's well-rounded as well.
And his opponent in the red corner, standing 5 feet 0 inches tall, weighing 109.2 pounds. Fighting out of Costa Mesa, California, representing AOJ, the 4-time Kids Pan Champion, Ikaru Moreno!
And what is there to say about Ikaru Moreno that hasn't already been said? This kid, he is one scary guy, Sean.
Yes, this young man means business all around the horn. I mean, he really treats this like a seasoned professional.
And it really is in a different way than we see from most kids that come out this age, right? And
absolutely.
Really, really excited to see these guys. We're going to get the tail of the tape here in just a moment. Check out these stats. We got Ikaru Moreno coming in, 13 years old, 5 feet tall, 109.2 pounds. And of course, we got Mackenzie Wong coming in at 12 years old, 5'4", 108.2. These guys are ready to go.
Yes, they're both right away. It doesn't surprise me that they both have good wrestling skills.
Well, you mentioned both of them being really well-rounded, Sean. I mean, what would you be coaching these kids to come out and do? Especially, you know, we've seen a little bit more footage of Ikaru. How would you coach against this?
Yeah, Ikaru, I'll tell you what, he doesn't leave much space at all. He doesn't make many arrows. The Mackenzie you just saw him try to slide by. He did that very well on some of the footage I watched him. He created that collar tie and then used a slide by to get behind some of his competitors. So but he really doesn't make a ton of errors, Icaro. So you're gonna have to make him move a lot. It's an arm drag, almost a re-drag, but I think the key for Mackenzie is to try to get him to move a lot.
Yeah, like you said, you can immediately see some of those slide-bys. And we see a a double switch off here from Mica Moreno, and he sets him down.
Yeah, almost countered. I mean, Mackenzie was almost able to turn out of that, and then just Icaro finished well now in the closed guard.
I think that was really smart as well for Mackenzie to make sure the guard was closed when he fell, right? Because with someone like Icaro, if you can slow him down, control him a little bit, and not let him get into those frenzies passing that he's so well at, then that's gonna be a better shot for you. So he comes up here in close guard.
Yeah, he'll use the scoop, tries a waiter sweep. The close guard is, like, as you mentioned, a very good way to slow people down. It also lets you get grips, lets you get in on the legs to create other opportunities, and so it's a nice place to start your attacking sequences from.
You can see Icaro too doing a great job controlling the right wrist of Mackenzie. He before was using that hand to push off the mat and get a lot of extension, right? When his arm was controlled, wasn't quite able to extend his hips in the same way.
Yeah, Icaro needs to have a hand on the hip right now. So Mackenzie could try to essentially come up in a body lock if he pummels in, try to stand up. Really, there he goes. But you can solve that by putting pressure on the hip, but Icaro didn't need to do that.
I think it's safe to say well, I was going to say the double was a big part of Icaro's game plan, and right as I said that, of course, he sits to the guard. But we saw, whoa, big jump there from Mackenzie Wong.
Yeah, trying to jump over the legs. Just left his arm behind a little bit now. Mackenzie was able to get out of that pretty well. So.
Oh, wow, and here's a guard pass, a really, really tight guard pass from Icaro Moreno. A little bit of a, maybe look at a buggy choke from Mackenzie Wong.
Got to hook up the other leg. He might kind of try to squirt out of this into, yeah, maybe I was thinking he might try to squirt out to a front head arm, but.
Now we see a lot of this classic Icaro style here once he starts getting into this passing, man. Whether he opens up the mount and side control or he opens up the back, his ability to dig underhooks, which we're seeing Mackenzie defend very well here on the right side, right, is he's so attuned to finding the underhooks. I find that to be a big part of his game on top.
Yeah, Mackenzie getting out nicely there. He's going to look for a Darce. Yeah, there it is. He's going to try to get that at, yeah, Mackenzie needs to back up his legs if he's going to commit to that. Going to open that elbow. He's getting stuck now. Now it's tight, especially when you step over, but.
This is a tricky one because not all organizations allow these submissions, right, for the kids. So it could be a great path to attack these if you know that your opponent is not used to defending them as often in competition.
Yeah, that's right. There he got it.
Wow. Submission victory here for Icaro Moreno. Big hometown crowd, of course, for Icaro, like you mentioned earlier, Sean.
Yeah. And that was a nice contest. I mean, Mackenzie sort of turned into that Darce a little bit, and then it just got on tight. And I think the amount of time that he was stuck in that strangle, I mean, you hold that long enough, it'll slowly put you out.
Man, so fun to see these young kids coming in. And here's a bit of a replay. We've got that initial takedown there from Icaro. Had a bit of a single switch off to a double right into the closed guard of Mackenzie. And then Icaro actually opted to sit after that. We saw a little bit of jumping action from Mackenzie as well. And there was that big pass sequence that got started. And here, like you said, Sean, this was it.
Yeah, he had been in it so long already at that point that it just started to get tight. When he stepped over to the mount, that really went on, and then he just never really recovered from that. There was the recovery from the mount position, and and it's just on for so long. Mackenzie needs to get to those fours, actually. Without getting to your fours, tough to get out of that.
And your winner with the submission with just 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining, Moreno.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That young man is well put together with his game.
Man, that was an incredible match. Man, just so you guys know, the Flow membership is required for the main card, so we are having all of these undercard matches streamed for free. You guys get to stay with us here while we stream them, but make sure your Flow membership's updated so you can watch the main card later. And soon up here, we're gonna have a next match between Pablo Rosales and Victor Rodriguez. Now, we covered this briefly in our opening show, but these two gentlemen, very, very excited to see them come in. It's gonna be a great one. Just a reminder, like I was mentioning earlier, the main card is only gonna be available if you have your Flow subscription, so just make sure to get that updated. The rest of the undercard will be free, continuing stream for free as usual. But make sure you guys got that updated so that you can watch the main card later tonight. We've got some amazing matches. Next up, as I was mentioning before, we've got Pablo Rosales. We're gonna see a quick look back in the warm-up area. And of course, we've got Victor Rodriguez as well, right there on screen. These guys are gonna be coming in hot. I know some Who's Number One debuts, and we will be right back with that match, so don't go anywhere. I know some Who's Number One debuts, and we will be right back with that match, so don't go anywhere.
It's going to be a sick match. I think it's a match that fans are looking forward to it. It's going to be a match that's going to be a barn burner in my opinion. Two young guys who are super talented and who bring the fight. They move forward and they bring the heat. So I think everyone's excited to watch it. I think it's going to be a great match.
I mean, Melky's he's doing phenomenal work with his guys. It's very explosive. It's a lot of pressure and it's aggressive. Like he's in your face constantly. And I think that's going to be a fun match to watch. I'll check it out.
Gracie's like a very static grappler, gets in good position, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And then Mica's just, Mica's Mica, very dynamic, can hit submissions from everywhere. I think it's a great fight, but I think Mica Galvão is going to win. I think he just, after the BJJ Stars, he had a very dominant performance, so he probably has like a lot more confidence. And I think his game's just a little bit more dynamic than Jonnatas Gracie. So
Right there, you just saw some of the world's top black belts giving their thoughts on who they think will be taking home the Who's Number One middleweight title belt in tonight's main event between our current title holder, Jonnatas Gracie, and of course his challenger, Mica Galvão, who's going for his second concurrent Who's Number One title belt. He's already holding the welterweight title. And as a reminder, if you're going to tune into that later, make sure your Flow subscription is activated for the main card. Sean, what do you think about what those black belts were predicting there?
I mean, they're sort of afraid. Was 1 for 3 to actually make a prediction. But it's a tough one to call because you just never know.
Who wants to get between those guys, Jonnatas Gracie and Mica Galvão?
I think all of them agreed that it's going to be a fantastic match.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get right back into our undercard action here with your next match.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighed in at 184.4 pounds. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California by way of Brazil and representing Checkmat, it's Victor Rodriguez.
As you mentioned, Kendall, WNO debut for this youngster. A lot to show the world, so I expect him to do just that.
Pressure's on.
And his opponent in the red corner, standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 184.2 pounds. Coming from Sao Paulo, Brazil, representing Mica Galvão Jiu Jitsu, it's Pablo Rosales.
Pablo Rosales coming in hot. We've got match number 2 underway. 2 18-year-olds coming in, making their debut. Pablo out of Mica Galvão. Man, really excited for this one, Sean.
Yeah, me as well. I want to see what they both bring to the table. Let's see if we see any glimpses of Mica out there.
We're going to get a quick look at the tail of the tape, see how these guys measure up. This is a middleweight match. Pablo coming in at 18 years old, 6 feet tall, 184.2 pounds. And of course, Victor, 18 as well, 5'11", 184.4 for this middleweight bout. Here we go, away we go. What are you expecting here in this match, Sean? I know, you don't have to expect for too long. We're already under the action.
That's what we said. That was a beautiful slide by him.
Whoa!
Well countered by the Uchimata there.
Yeah, we see that so often, right? The Uchi counter to these takedowns. And sometimes it can backfire, you end up on bottom, but oftentimes, even if you don't finish a perfect takedown, it's enough to release your leg. And we saw another look at it right there on the edge.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to see the same little fight here. Rodriguez is step in the middle, so right now he's given the middle to Rosales, which is getting that Uchimata counter. When you have that body lock, it's really a nice idea to step in front and step in the middle and get the hips moving.
Pablo in the headlock here, but he had a chest lock for a minute and now had an arm locked up, but nice defense from Victor Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez is a little short drag, and that's one of the problems with locking trying to lock a full Darce on someone, or an anaconda, I should say. When someone is on their floors, you can get short dragged. There's quite a big window of short dragging there, and it's a very nice technique if someone overreaches on that front head arm side.
Nice spin through there from Victor Rodriguez. Sometimes we see the kickouts of singles backfire, but that worked really well for him. Almost tried to go underneath, but the grips of Pablo Rosales kept him in place.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice entry, actually, with just the grip, yeah, as you said, yeah. Here comes a short drag again. He's got to get...
Yeah, you could say his arms reach up, like you said, Sean.
There it is. It's just overreaching. Anytime you try to lock up an anaconda, you run the risk of overreaching versus just a chin strap grip, a front head and arm, until you can bring the arm up to you. on that arm side, and then you don't have to overreach so much when you lock full figure 4. Again on the arm, got a front headlock again.
Yeah, we're seeing such a consistent theme here, right? Victor definitely heavy on the legs, Pablo hunting the head, but Victor, every time he escapes the front headlock, he's going to be gaining confidence in his shots, right? Because he doesn't feel threatened that he's going to be finished. This can work in his favor. Of course, it can also lure him into a trap, too.
Yeah, he's a bit wild on his after he's doing the short drag. So instead of just putting a knee down, he's really using a lot of body movement. So this, if he continues this, it might make him a little tired. It's a lot of energy he's using right now. Instead of, he could also pass the elbow on that front headlock situation, but he's doing a great job nonetheless. There's a nice little double. Well-timed double leg by Pablo Rosales. That was really nice. Now you gotta keep the hands separated if you're Rodriguez, so get up and under the elbow now. Beautiful pass right to front headlock.
Now the front headlocks are so nice because when you threaten the head, you can open up the pass, right? You can open up the back, the pass, you can open up the legs as well. When they defend the head, they typically open something else up. So we're seeing some chain through jiu-jitsu happening from Pablo Rosales, but he hasn't been able. Hasn't been able to finish any of those attacks just yet. Now we did just get a note of the judges' favor, and the judges are favoring Pablo Rosales. It's important to remember this is not a specific scoring system. We're not, they don't win best 2 out of 3 or anything of the sort. However, it does let you know where the judges' heads are at this point in time.
Yeah, now Rosales could put his head on the mat and jump over the legs, but he likes to come on up and try to run through this double leg.
Seen a lot of the interlacing finger grip here in this match, which can be very difficult when you try to yank your arms back. It's hard because you can very easily get stuck, and oftentimes there the head position starts to come into play. It's very important to keep strong head position when you have those. Oop, little bit of a look at a single there potentially from Victor.
Yeah, it passes the arm by. Nice. Got to get that right arm on the outside of that leg if he's going to get it around the corner there. Another front headlock on the opposite side this time.
Yeah, it kind of shifted off to the side for that low single. Oh, now we have a grip on the bicep here from Pablo.
Yeah, now Rodriguez is in trouble. That's really tight. Got to get his elbow down on the mat and drive through, push on that elbow that you see that underneath there. He's got to get his elbow very, very wide. There he's tapping.
Whoa, second submission victory here.
So that time he waited for a very long time. That window closed, and he found himself in a very, very deep head-arm strangle there.
Pablo Rosales, submission victory in his Who's Number One debut. Definitely making a strong impression on the crowd.
Yeah, just hunting that thing the whole time. Some consistent, steady pressure.
Yeah, we notice that often when you have high-level competitors, and we're going to get a little bit of the replay here. When you have high-level competitors that are shifting between the same game plan throughout the match, but they're making adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Little by little, they're relentlessly adjusting, noticing the reactions from their opponent, and adjusting little by little to get that finish. But it was the same maybe game plan from the start, but they were able to make enough adjustments to get the submission.
Yeah, you can see how high Rodriguez's left elbow is in there. It's nowhere near where it needs to be, down low to create that space in the shoulder. So waited way too long for that. The figure 4 was nice, kept the elbow away from the ribs. And he's able to finish that anaconda right there.
And after 4.5 minutes of competition, your winner by submission, representing Mica Galvão Jiu Jitsu, Pablo Rosales.
There we have it. Pablo Rosales, winner by submission in his Who's Number One debut. Exciting day for the Mica Galvão team, right? Now we have another exciting match coming up. Ryan Juliano here, you're seeing on the screen in the warm-up area. He's coming up very soon. And his opponent is gonna be Carson Quinene. Now this match we are really excited for. We have got these two social media superstars coming in, making waves, coming into their Who's Number One debut, and I heard some word that they're going to be giving some behind-the-scenes content to us later of what it's like to fight on the Who's Number One stage, what it's like to go from fan to athlete. Now, we'll be right back here with our next match. Don't go anywhere.
And now a competition in the welterweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 164 pounds. Fighting out of Seattle, Washington, from Mat Chess MMA, it's Carson Quinene.
Here we go, match number 3, Sean Williams. We've got Carson Quinene coming out. He's got a big crowd here with him.
He does, he's bringing a lot of noise.
And his opponent in the red corner, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California with Breakdown Academy, it's Ryan Juliano!
And here we come out of the red corner, Ryan Juliano. What a walkout song, Sean.
Well, it's both of these guys' WNO debut. It's a big stage for both of these guys, and they're documenting the process, so it's gonna be good.
Here's a look at the tail of the tape. Middleweight match. We've got Ryan coming in, 27 years old, 5'8", 170 pounds, along with Carson at 22, 5'9", 164. Middleweight match. All right, as we are getting this match underway, I would love to take this opportunity to have a special introduction. We've got a third man in the booth right now, Mr. Ben Kovacs. He's the general manager of FloGrappling. He's going to join us for a couple matches here. Ben, welcome to the commentary show.
Thanks for having me.
Super excited that you're here. Now, as these guys get started, we're going to do our best to call the action. We've got some questions for you, too. We're feeling a little nosy today. So we've got a couple questions we're going to get into. But I also wanted to mention that these guys, this is a pretty unique matchup, right, Sean? I mean, these guys are coming in as social media superstars. They're going to, I think, give us a little information about what it looks like to go from fan to athlete on the Who's Number One show. Is that right?
Yeah, Ben, do you want to touch a little bit more on that with the sort of the nature of this match? I mean, they are two friends, right? I had heard that one of them was like, no, I don't want to do it, but okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, Ryan was pretty reluctant to do it at first, probably a better friend than Carson apparently, but Carson just would do anything to get on Who's Number One. So I actually brought Carson to the last Who's Number One, sort of as a fan, brought him out. He got to meet a bunch of his heroes. He's a big Owen Jones fan, and he had a great time, and I thought, hey, let's get him on the next card. Let's get him against another YouTuber. Let's see if these guys can actually make some really cool content after the fight and give fans a sneak peek of what it's like behind the scenes here at Who's Number One.
Man, that's awesome. It's funny because one of the things we love to see is when the athletes are creating a lot of content around what we do here to let fans in on what that's like. But these guys are professionals, so it's a different level. I'm really excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah, and I think these guys kind of represent a little bit of the new age, if you will, of jiu-jitsu, right? They're creators first, they're wrestlers first, they're no-gi first, and they have exciting styles. Fans really love them, so it's different, I think, than how a lot of us got into jiu-jitsu, like Sean and I, very gi first, right? Old school.
Yeah,
this
same
is the new
here.
wave.
It's just a kid on the mats thrown in a gi, and good luck.
I was trying to leave you out of the old guy conversation.
Yeah, well,
I guess I dated myself a little there.
Well, I mean, the skills are showing through here. Ryan has a nice double leg right there and got around the guard, and now he's in a cradle. He's got Carson locked up in a cradle.
Yeah, we saw a nice double, little guillotine defense action, but hard to keep that guillotine locked in when someone comes around to side control. I think accidental knee to the chin there. Now, Ben, we wanted to talk a little bit about why you're jumping in with us. I know as a new general manager of Flo, what got you interested in taking over that role in the first place?
Well, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 19 years. I think like many of us, it changed my life pretty tremendously. I started a jiu-jitsu nonprofit called Guardian 10 years ago. We give kids free jiu-jitsu around the world. And when I kind of looked at what was going on with Flo, I thought it's actually not that dissimilar. It's like, how do we grow our sport? How do we get more people into it? How do we get more kids into it? How do we make it more exciting? And it all kind of dovetails together. And obviously, FloGrappling's the best, in my opinion, platform out there in the world to do that.
Whoa, big lift off there. Almost came into our table.
That would not be the first.
No, and probably not the last.
No, definitely not. But yeah, Ben, I love what you were saying. And also, we chatted before you were here, and I really enjoyed what you were talking about, bringing, sort of unifying everyone in jiu-jitsu and opening up the floodgates for that sort of come together, let's all compete and be able to do whatever we want in competitions and the best fight the best.
Yeah, last year was sort of the division of the sport, right? You had CJI and ADCC and everything that happened there, and this year I think it's about, at least on the Flo perspective, bringing it back together. You know, we don't want to see jiu-jitsu become a monopoly. We don't want one company to, be able to lock people up in exclusive contracts. Fans should get to see their favorite athletes fight. Athletes should get to make the most amount of money possible and fight in the most diverse promotions possible, and that's what it's all about this year, right?
Yeah, I love that, really. Then you get the best fighting the best. And that is always made for some epic championship battles throughout jiu-jitsu history.
Man, saw some good action right there from Carson. Was looking to pass, maybe come over the top. He had a lock on the top side arm, fell back off. But love that both of these guys are really fighting forward. They're submission hunting. They're shooting on those big wrist takedowns. We got, I think this is an ankle lock here. Don't quite have the angle for it.
Yeah, he lifted him right into the inside Senkaku. So he's got the leg weave locked up.
Oh, he does.
He's going to have to separate the legs. So I would assume that he's going to want to put the left arm through the middle, separate the legs, and then go right there for that cross heel hook.
Comes all the way free. Oh!
Nearly a flying leg lock. I told you they're going to see a flying leg lock.
You did tell me. Oh, off back to the head again. Can't say these guys aren't submission hunters.
Yeah, they're on a frantic pace at the moment, which is fun for us to see.
I mean, this is the kind of matches we want here, right? I mean,
Yes.
if you look at Rotolo and Tackett at CJI, nobody lost that fight.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I think that's the way we want people thinking about this, especially for these undercards, these fights that are supposed to be more fun. You know, there's not a belt on the line here. So yeah, this is exactly the type of action we want to see.
Well, and along those lines, Ben, you know, we talked a little bit about this before, but how do we, in your opinion, how do we grow the sport? How do we make it interesting for non-grapplers? That's the challenge. I know this match plays a part in that, but is that what you have in mind?
Well, I think a lot of people say that, right? They say, how do we get the non-jiu-jitsu fan in? But to be honest, I don't think a lot of the jiu-jitsu promotions are getting the actual jiu-jitsu fans in even. I mean, so many people that I know that love to train aren't even excited to watch the matches. They don't even know they're on in some cases. So I think we actually have to make them more exciting just to get the grapplers in there.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's now Carson's getting some of his own medicine right now. It's in the leg weave. Now we see Ryan probably trying to thread the right foot through. It's going to go for a straight foot lock first. But to untie these legs, you might want to think about passing the secondary leg to the other side just to keep control over it. That when Carson tried to separate the legs, if Carson's right leg comes out of there.
Red.
Oh.
We've seen two red judges' favors in a row. As a reminder, we mentioned this before, it's not necessarily a scoring system. It doesn't determine who's going to win the match, but it lets you know what's on the judge's mind as they're watching this, which way they see it leaning.
He's still on having that secondary leg. And that was what there is going to try to really hit a true leg lace. You can knee bar inside there. He's got to fix your angle a little bit and expose the heel. But then see, once that secondary leg goes away, all the defenses start. So
much easier to clear the knee line, right?
That's right. That's why I recommend passing the secondary leg to the other side. Oh, that's a nice double.
Oh, big double. Heads on the outside, though. Oh, for a second, had a look at a guillotine. But now a knee cut coming in. Man.
So Ryan has a big YouTube channel where he does the give me $100, I'll give you $100 if you take me down. And so one of the jokes going into this match was Carson was talking to him before the match saying, hey, if I take you down, I'm getting that $100. So it looks like he may have just won it right there.
I think I might challenge him next. That sounds fun. That's my next goal. Man, big pressure here with, I believe, double underhooks. Can't the other side, but I believe double underhooks. Really high mount. Such a great way to defend any sort of hip escaping or bringing the elbow connection to the knee, which is what people need on bottom, of course, to escape.
Nice. And Ben, I do love what you've done with the Guardian program. And can you elaborate just a little bit more about what you were saying? Like, is it the togetherness that you're trying to create, that similar sort of event that happens with Guardian in our sport?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think so many people want to give back. So many people love training. So many people want to see kids get in the sport. If you talk to people who do jiu-jitsu, they almost all say, I wish I would have started earlier. So that's a pretty simple concept, but I think even at the highest level, it's the same thing, right? There's a camaraderie. Even the athletes the last few days that are here doing the weigh-ins and stuff, people love each other, right? They're friends for the most part. It's an amazing sport that brings people together no matter where you train. You can go around the world and do that. And, you know, like I said before, I don't want to see this become an exclusive sport, right? I don't want to see this somewhere where, you know, you can't watch your favorite athletes fight. You got a deep submission here.
Oh, yeah, rear naked choke. It's a little over the chin, but it can definitely be finished by this. But look at, almost trying to finish from the mount there. But, man, Ryan bringing his left butterfly hook in was genius, able to save him just enough. And maybe on a leg of his own. Short time here, 15 seconds.
Trying a cross heel hook there to try to drop in on it. And this match has been action-packed. There he is, almost at the end. Another cross heel hook. He's got the heel.
Oh, he's got a deep bite there.
Yeah.
Man, what a good match.
What a great match. And like I said, like you had said, I think that's what everyone loves to see. Just two athletes letting it all hang out and everybody wins. The fans win that way. There was a nice slide by to that foot sweep in the very beginning. There was a near $100 right there, you know, from that slide by.
We saw a lot of great wrestling in this match, didn't we?
I mean, I don't envy the judges here because the first two judges' decisions went to red, but Carson kind of dominated the end of that fight a little bit. So.
And our rule set is based around deep submission attempts, right? That rear naked choke right there was probably the deepest submission attempt we saw throughout the match from where I'm sitting.
There's a takedown.
Oh yeah, that was the pass that led him into strong control, and there's that rear naked choke right at the end. He ended up locking it up fully. Got some good squeeze on there, but was able to roll through, put his back flat on the mat, and stay safe. We're gonna get a look at what the judges did decide. We have an official decision. We're gonna take it to the center of the mat to find out.
After 9 minutes of back and forth action, we go to the judges, who render their decision for the blue corner, Carson Quinene.
And just like you said, that rear naked choke there sealed the deal for Carson Quinene.
Coming on strong at the end. Maybe that's just the big stage. Brian went all out from the very get-go. So he's all right, I need to make sure I have enough gas to last the last 2 minutes. But what a fantastic match. What a fantastic match, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly fun.
All right, and just so you guys have a heads up, you're gonna see on the bottom left-hand side of the screen the best wrestlers in the country. They are ready to compete for their spot on Team USA and Final X. They're gonna win this high school phenom, Jax Forrest, compete against returning world medalist Vito Araujo, while Kyle Dake faces Zahid Valencia in a battle between a legend and a rising contender. Stream all the action live with your Flow Wrestling subscription. It's gonna be on June 14th. Don't miss Final X, guys. Now, we do have another exciting match coming up. We've got Alyssa Luna. You see her right here in the back getting warm, staying loose, and she's gonna be going against Rana Willink. Now, I've got some questions for you about that when we return, Ben, but you see Rana here fighting out of Legion, warming up in the background. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to watch these ladies have a great bout.
Paige is my #1 training partner throughout this whole camp, and it has been awesome to have her by my side for this training camp, and I'm by her side for this card too because she's competing as well. And she pushes me every single practice, and we've been training a lot with Andres, doing ecological training, which has really helped both of our trainings in unfamiliar positions and getting out of leg lock entanglements and scrambles and coming back up on top and our passing. So it's been a huge positive to have Paige by my side throughout my jiu-jitsu journey and for this camp for Who's Number One.
There, we just got a look
And
at
now,
Rana Willink.
a match
What
in
a
the
great interview
heavyweight
from her, talking about her
division.
match or her training.
First up in the blue corner, standing 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighing 142 pounds, fighting out of Fullerton, California, representing 10th Planet Fullerton, it's Alyssa Luna!
Alyssa Luna, here we go. She's got a big hometown crowd, Sean.
Yeah, strong wrestling. Finds herself on the top quite a bit from her takedown attempt, so we'll see if that's the strategy that she employs here.
And her opponent in the red corner, standing 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 157 pounds. Fighting out of San Diego, California, representing Victory MMA and Legion AJJ, it's Rana Willink!
And of course, a lot of energy in the building for Miss Rana Willink. She is coming in for this heavyweight match with a big hometown crowd as well, with high energy. Love to see it. Now, Ben, I've got to ask you, you have a relationship with Jocko, her father, right? Jocko Willink, super well known for being a great motivational speaker, author, amongst other things. Do you have a relationship with Rana as well?
A little bit. I've gotten to know Rana more recently. And, you know, I would say that a lot of that's from Miha, by the way, and going down there to Legion and training and knowing those guys. But one of the things you know...
Excuse me, real quick, guys, we've got our tail of the tape here. Rana Willink in the heavyweight division, standing at 5'2", 24 years old, 157 pounds. And then, of course, Alyssa Luna here, 31 years of age, 5'4", 142 pounds. And there we have Jocko Willink in the corner. So, sorry, you were saying, Ben.
Just saying that they're having a lot of fun there, right? Those folks at Legion, especially Paige and Rana, the one thing when you leave there, you realize, well, those girls really love jiu-jitsu and they're having a great time doing it.
You really see that on Rana's face and in her energy whenever she comes out, right? She always comes out smiling and she fights forward. You can say the same about Paige Yvette, who we're going to get to see later on the main card, right? Make sure your guys' Flow subscription's updated so you can watch the main card later. Of course, we've got these matches on the undercard for free, so make sure you guys check that out later and have that updated.
Reina's debut, she just finished in a heel hook right away, so obviously well versed as well on the legs. Nice.
Some nice Uchi action.
Yeah.
She's got great takedowns, strong wrestling, great underhooks. And, you know, it's important to mention, too, like you said, she's got good heel hooks, leg lock finishes, but we know the same about Alyssa Luna.
Yeah.
Alyssa Luna has, she's fighting at 10th Planet Fullerton. No doubt a lot of great leg lock awareness.
Overhook versus underhook.
Shot countered by a front headlock there into an underhook of her own from Alyssa Luna. One thing you'll notice about Rana's approach is she's always walking forward in the match. You very rarely ever see her walk back, and we're seeing that she's kind of driving Alyssa around the mat right now. And Alyssa's very aggressive in her own right.
Yeah, it was a nice little fireman's ankle pick there. Almost over under pass.
Now, Ben, while I have you, I mentioned being nosy earlier, so I wanted to check in with you about a couple things. You know, we've seen some shakeups with Flowlay. We've had a Craig Jones partnership. We've got new events, big content plays. What's the goal with all this? We got CJI coming up at the later part of the year or later part of the summer, excuse me. What's going on here?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is CJI will remain free on YouTube this year. We do have a partnership with Craig, and really a lot of that is to just spread the word of what we talked about before, the fact that we want jiu-jitsu to remain open, we want jiu-jitsu to remain non-exclusive. Obviously, Craig's a big proponent of that because he's seeing it firsthand with CGI, people getting getting blocked from competing in CGI from other promotions, which isn't great.
A nice toe hold attempt there from Moreno Willink.
Yeah, she's turning on that now. It's if she can get, she might want to transfer that in. She's got a leg isolated completely through. She's like with a toe hold, and now has a cross heel hook. Let's see if you can see. She's got both. She's got a straight footlock, and that will hurt because it's and now there's the cross heel hook if she loses that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if she's able to drive her right leg through for a full cross off. She almost does, but good defense here from Alyssa Luna trying to back the knee line out, and now actually attacking the top arm of.
She got
it. Yeah. Another submission victory for Moreno Willink here on Who's Number One.
I see Jocko's over there filming with his phone. Should we tell him that this is on Flo?
Always, man. He's always doing that. And he posts his own video. I'm like, we've got professional footage for you.
That was nice how she kept the secondary leg for a lot longer. That gave her some more time to get into that heel hook and finish. Although Alyssa looked like she was almost out. She's turned, and then Moreno caught up. There's grabbing that secondary leg, gives her a lot more time. Then she was able to get the heel, and then Alyssa was stuck. So there you can see the initial attempt. She spun out of that, but watch Rennie there. She caught that other leg and then readjusted. Everything went deeper. And then it was able to put much more pressure that time on the knee.
Well, the action is not going to stop, Sean. After this match, we got another really exciting one coming up. But first, we're going to get our official arm raise here for Moreno Willink in the center of the mat.
After 3 minutes of action in the heavyweight division, your winner by submission, Moreno Willink.
Lots of good energy in here for Moreno Willink. Of course, like you said, Ben, we've got Jocko still filming in the corner.
Just seems like she feels no pressure from being Jocko's daughter, right? She's just having a good time. She was like that the entire time before the fight, hanging out, waiting for her coach out front, smiling.
I think it speaks to what you said, she and Paige. You know, when you walk in that room, you know they're having fun. They love jiu-jitsu. They love what they're doing. And I think that really shows in the way that Rana competes. She fights forward. She's aggressive. She doesn't shy away from taking big risks. It's really, really fun to watch, and it's paying off. I think we have a rising star on our hands, that's for sure. We've got a really great match coming up here. We've got Saul Vieira fighting out of Gracie Barra, Newport Beach. You can see him on the screen here. A little side note, teammate of mine. Very excited to see him make his Who's Number One debut, of course, against the tough Ari Goldman. Ari Goldman, another big content creator. We've got a lot of great influencers on the card tonight that also back it up with very strong jiu-jitsu like we saw earlier. Ari Goldman and Saul Vieira coming up next. That will be the end of our undercard, which is free on FloGrappling. So make sure you guys get your Flo subscriptions updated so that you can watch the main card as soon as it begins after that match. We'll be right back with these guys.